Okay. Um, First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. Um, Thank you. My life is being destroyed, and I know why. It's because the people who put me in this program um, are my old employer, which it just put things in perspective in every way. I just listen. Whatever horrible thing I'm going to go through, I know why it's going to be this horrible. First of all, this program is horrible on its own, but having humiliated people who wanted to live this disturbing reality, it's just I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I got to hear the testimonials and see what they're truly part of and what this is doing to people all around the world and how systematic it is. The reason why they even choose childlike individuals is because these are the people who can be this retarded to wanting to live this life consistently. And the people who want to participate but don't want to live their life are just appreciative of this low life. Because with me, I've refused to let them live that fantasy. With me, they do this pedophile type of torture. Matter of fact, there's something they just did again. I was looking at a date app, and there was this woman, and in the background, there was like somebody, there was a kid that I remember they did this something to me. I didn't even have to look at the kid. I knew this picture. And so they just a glimpse of it, they start giving me the stimulations like, now we mapped it to you as a kid. We're digging your mind. That you could experience things like that as a child. I was like, first of all, even when I was a child, I wasn't experiencing that. I was now looking at a child with stimulations. But I know that's what they've made me experience and then try to make me accept. But can you imagine the stupidity of that? That's the way they make me experience in their logic, in their ways of wanting me to rationalize things is we are making your brain, we have dig this in your brain. You had that feeling before. And so we're just bringing that up. And it was there before we mined it and we brought it back up. And so now today as an adult, this is the reaction that you experienced when you were a kid. Now, of course, it's falsified. But even this rationality is childlike. To even think to subscribe to this, to identify with this nonsensicalness. These people are truly like, you really want me to live this fantasy? You want me to live this deluded reality? You, a grown woman with, I was on a call with somebody. The things they like to do is create a psyop. They're like, oh, it's personal. I'm a mother. It's like, really? If you're a mother, imagine I start manipulating your brain and I say, hey, you know what you're feeling? These reactions? Yes, you're a full adult grown woman. Now, we mapped it to you when you were a child. I'm looking at this adult woman. So can you see how dumb you have to make yourself be? Imagine that's like, no, he was there when you were a kid. You are a grown woman. 2, this program, what it does to children. Oh my gosh. We're talking about different things for work. And there's specific conditions that are horrible that they do to children too. Kids get sick in ways that are so nasty. They make kids sick and they torture them even sexually. I'm like, where is your anger for that? This program that you're doing this thing to me. Think about everything I've ever done in my life. Now imagine what this program does to children and to women. The truth is, anybody who participates in this program have accepted and signed on things that they should definitely look at the mirror for. It is easy to do what they do. It is not. I'm not. They're not. These people are not the toughest people ever. They're not the most dangerous. Like, it's so simplistic that even children are participants. That should be the first indication that what you're involved in perhaps doesn't need a clear. It doesn't need a brain of an adult, a consciousness of an adult. That perhaps you really actually have to minimize your brain. You actually have to lower your state of rationality. The technology is sophisticated. My brain is being fried up. I'm not being mined. I'm being manipulated. They are changing my brain, conditioning my brain literally, day in and day out. I sleep in this nastiness. I wake up in this nastiness, and I'm conditioned to think like this 24/7. And I have childlike individuals try to get me to subscribe to this. And then I look at these people that per se has to be looking. I need to look at them thinking that they're reasonable individuals, and I'm looking at them even worse than this childlike individual. These people, I don't even respect them. They're like children. You are parents. You have kids. You want to hear how horrible these things are to children? Even bring the things that I actually did. Try to come up with whatever you do. Pretend that you're trying to do it for this woman or whatever. Do you know I have a list of women that you guys are frying genitals to? This horrible destruction of... But not with you, it's personal. So when you do that to women, it's not personal. When you do that to children, it's not personal. It's just work. No, the reality is the only person who needs to think personal about this is me. Because you are torturing my life and my body and my mind, but you do that to even women and children. And I know this is happening to me because I'm in the same program these women are in. So you participating in this program, doing this thing to me, is the same program that is doing this thing to women, regardless if these people have done it once, twice, or multiple times. But target individual, they try to get you to see this fantasy in there. It's like it's going to be painful. It's like, you know what? I know it's going to be horrible. You know why it's going to be even more horrible for me? It's because you wanted to paint this picture that shows that it's just a psyop. You wanted me to look at this as if like a group of like this vengeful women and men protecting, and they're mad and they're avenging. Go avenge this three-year-old that's sexually tortured. That was sexually tortured by this program you're in. Go avenge this 3-week-old baby that got sick because they do this rash thing. They thought this kid was dying. This baby was dying. They thought but no, it was just what they do. They make people sick and they can heal them at the same time. They make them sick and heal them from the sickness they themselves put in them. If you're vengeful for the last mass shooting, this last mass shooting that killed 18 people. Yo, be vengeful for anybody who pushed the man to be this crazy to end up killing 18 people. Be that vengeful. Be vengeful for all this last mass shooting of people who died. Most of them were probably innocent people who had no involvement in this program. Well, these bottom feeders are the ones that they dared. You dared what? You're a coward. I'm not an aggressive individual. My prayers is God give me strength. As angry as I get, as agitated as I get, please give me the strength to not do anything to this low life. Even though in every sense possible, doing something to them, matter of fact, it will make my life better in the sense that my end will be quick. It will not be some sufferance. It will be I'll be killed immediately. The cops will come and shoot me down, and that's it. Over. No sufferance, no torture, no nothing. Gone. So if I even looked at this way, they'll be like the easiest way to just get this thing over for me. And on top of this nasty low life, it'll be something that these people have involved themselves in this discussing things. So they've signed up to do these horrible things to people. And so if somebody do something horrible to them, it makes sense. So in every ways, in a logical way, not even illogical, in a more convenient way, killing a perp makes more sense. But I don't want to do these things. This trash and dirty me. No, I find dignity. I'm not perfect. I have so many imperfections. But this imperfection is none of these nasty things they implant. And I will never want to dirty my hands with this trash. Let them get this money, live this life. Watch how it comes back to them properly. First of all, they're going to live with this indignity. You thought you were just a nice mother taking care of your kid. No. Personal. It's as personal as suffocating a 7-year-old. It's as personal as sexually torturing a 3-year-old. Send these retards. This is how personal it is. Target individual. I understand. I just understand what this program is. We're just test subjects, which include children, used as test subjects. Now, the way they try to create a psyop by sending some child-like individuals to send some person who is some reasonable-looking person. My screams, my pain, my torture is not going to change what's going to happen to them. Please, target individual, see them that they get theirs. I've been right in every sense. I'm not perfect. I know my imperfection, but I'll never identify with these manipulations. Our people who work for entities that are so pedophilia-centric, the Child Protective Services is ranking them as 19th out of 2,900 for the amount of child porn that is circulating within the network. And I'm looking at a mother who's like, really? So these retards are mapping my brain. They're not doing the pedophilia type of torture. Them who have so much child porn issue, child problem issue, child porn issue. Solution. That the devices they use for work are utilized to circulate child porn, that they're even being ranked as top tier pedophiles in regards to circulating child porn. I know it's going to be awful, and I'm asking God to give me strength, but one thing is for sure, I'm dying with some kind of dignity, because I could live life doing what they do. This is what you always be connected with. In every ways, it's showing what they've done. When they talk about abuse, what you did as a kid, really? You think a middle school child is a threat who did something to themselves while you are here literally suffocating 7-year-old children with defense technology? And why those entities coming up with this technology are so fucking pedophilia-centric that the Child Protective Services is ranking them as top tier in regards to sharing child porn. Conveniently enough, they don't call what they're doing to children for what it is. Not only abuse, it's torture of children. Delusional trash. This is what they're part of. They are involved in a program that literally do horrible things to kids. So I'd rather let this trash continue to live this life. If I see this Lord, I've tried to do this gimmicky and to live this fantasy, I'm just gonna look at them for the bottom feeders and low life trash that have been embarrassed and have been validated by how fucking trash and threatening to children they are. They're so threatening. They've even been the entities running this program are so they're so threatening to children that the amount of child porn they're sharing is considered top tier within all the network in the United States. Look at these kids talking to me. Matter of fact, the way they tell me how they're going to frame me is indicative of what they are. They tell me they're going to play child porn and they're going to frame me by saying this. Perfect. Let them live the way they live. For the mothers who try to throw their status in regard of who they are within what they did, I'm sure you're a great mother. But you are even worse than these childlike individuals because you have children. Imagine your child is the one suffocating. Imagine your child is the one being sexually tortured. Imagine your child is the one blinded. Imagine your child is the one who is in pain for no reason, who has rashes, that's dying, that the doctor thinks that the one that's having seizures, that's one fainting, that's one that is psychologically and physically damaged by this defense technology. Do you think a middle school child doing some dumb thing that you try to even exaggerate is really a threat, but somehow forget these horrible things that they do to children? Do you understand the level of self-trickery they have to do? On top of that, the entities that are doing these things, avenging, they're so freaking they're so disturbingly pedophilia-centric that these people are sharing child porn using Department of Defense technology, not even computers, using their computers to share child pornography, their government computers, not even their personal computers, using the internet network of the DoD. Do you think these are the people protecting kids? Oh, it's not personal anymore, right? I will never let them live the fantasy. These people even have kids in middle school. You've talked to a child? Talk to an 8th grader, 7th grader, a 13, 14-year-old kid. You'll know that this kid can do. But that's what a child is capable of doing. I don't need to explain. So when they're angry, like, what you did, it's like, what? You know what I would do to somebody who is involved in a program that is literally torturing children? And then try to sound fierce? And the women, jeez. To hear what women are going through within this program is things that are just unbelievable. To hear the way they've tortured them, unbelievable. So when I hear this trash say, for our women, or say child abuse, like, yes, child abuse. A child gasping, what is that? A child being suffocated, explain to me, what is that? And quiet all of a sudden. Huh? Easy question, easy answer. No answer, because you know better. Because it's not even just child abuse, it's child sexual, it's child torture. A child being blinded. What is that? No answers. Conveniently enough, Trash, when I see this low life, this is the real question to ask. And so, because I can raise those questions, the theater of my torture is going to be horrible. But I'd rather die in this horrible way than not be able to answer those questions. When talking about a child doing some dumbass thing to himself, you know what? And try to exaggerate child abuse, really? If that's child abuse, what you guys do to children? What is that then? You conscious grown men and women involved in a program that does these nasty things to children. Talk about a child doing some dumb things. This program, you know, what I regret is initially not knowing who I was talking to. They were bringing up what I did as a kid. I started looking up what kids can do at that age, and I was listening to even TED Talks about this woman who's like studying behaviors of children. And one woman's like, kids can do these problematic things and then move on in life. And a lot of them, that's what happens, especially like, and the thing is like, especially when like early teen, that's the age when these little things happens. And some more extreme than others. And it's like mostly, just grow up and just never, just that's it. It's just a impulsive moment of a child. Do you know, I was looking for look because they're trying to be like, no, that's their kind of. I didn't know those people talking to me were torturing children. I'm looking up like the behavior of children in 13 to 14 years old. I'm talking to people who literally are doing the most horrible things to children. Stupid me, I'm like looking like what the age is. They even try to do that against like, who am I talking to? I'm talking to people who are literally torturing babies. Fucking trash. They want me to look at them in a logical way. You piece of shit. You ain't involved in this. Can you imagine? To try to compare a child impulsive retardation of a mentally developing child in middle school, and then hearing that these people are involved in a program where they are torturing children. You better. Now, if I see these bottom feeders and they try to go with that, I'll look at them like, I know you torture children, you piece of shit. What is that? You're not a fucking child that's just, you are fully suffocating. You nasty bottom feeders. And then make themselves angry. Child, you trash ass. You're involved in this. You're involved in this.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of her. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way.
That's a 7-year-old. That was that child torture? Fucking no lives.